Welcome back, everybody, to Outdoor Power Tech. My readings finally came in. In the meantime, I've been doing a bunch of odd end stuff on this engine, and I'll put it in a montage towards the end of the video. But let's go ahead and get ready to go ahead and start installing these rings on the piston. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to measure the end gap on it. As old as this engine is, you can't get oversized rings for it, and you can't get oversized pistons. So what we have, what you got is what you got. You might be able to, if you can find rings a little bigger than this, in the 50s and 60s, Briggs tend to have the same exact rings as Clinton. I actually looked through my rings that I had. I have a bunch of new old stock Briggs rings, and dated back to the 50s and 60s, and it's the same exact style rings. And I found some that were pretty close, but wasn't close enough, so I went ahead and ordered some online. The last two that I've done, I was able to get rings through Little Red Barn. They had them in stock, and there's the part number, Clinton 3048. They had them in stock, but what you have is what you got on these engines. Like I said, you can't order a bigger piston, so whatever end gap we have, it'll just have to do. But hopefully this engine wasn't ran a whole lot, and the end gap will be really close. So let's get started on this. I'm gonna get you set up, or I'm gonna go ahead and just install the rings. One of them, we'll see what the end gap is on it. All right. And the end gap is supposed to be between 7 thousandths to 17 thousandths. And I'll show you in the book in a little bit when we put rings on the piston, how they go. Okay, let's see here. All right, and I'm going to, let me get y'all a little closer. And I honed this out too. I don't know if that was on my last video. It might be in the montage I'll do at the end, but I honed it out just to rough it up. Okay, I'm going to take this ring off so I can use this to push this down into the block. And it is a pretty big gap on there. Let me get my filler gauge. It's showing all of them on this page of 7 to 17. And it looks like we beyond 17. Yeah, 17 fits in there. So we'll see if it'll run. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll run. All right. Go ahead and put on the oil ring. These are slightly different than the ones that are on it, but I'm going to go ahead and install it per their directions. Go ahead and get the scraper ring on. And then we'll get the compression ring on. All right. And make sure none of these are lined up. All right, when you install this, there's an oil hole right here. You want that to be facing your back plate, the side that your back plate's on. And I'm going to install this without my compression tool, because a lot of y'all are not going to have it. So Make sure none of your rings are, make sure the gaps are staggered like this, so they're not lined up. See where that gap is? See where this gap is? All right, let's get the oil hole facing the plate there. Make sure I got everything staggered the way I want it. All right, let me get my little screwdriver. And I'm going to just barely push down on this and start snapping this ring in. I'm going to just walk my way around it. All right, got that one in. Make sure my rings still look good and staggered. All right, now I'm gonna start pushing down this one. Make my way around. Just keep on putting a little pressure. All right, and we got that one in. All right, and be gentle because you can snap these rings. All right, there we go. All right, now that's lined up. It went onto our crank pin just fine. And there's our crank pin. All right, let's go ahead and get our end cap and put on. Let's go ahead and get this right here. All right. See this little thing pointing this way? When I took apart the engine, it was pointing towards the back plate that we're putting on. So that's which way we're gonna put it back on again. All right, let me squirt a little bit of oil down in there. That's a 7/16. And I will get the torque values on that for you. All right, we're looking at between 70 and 80 inch-pounds. So I'm gonna go to 75 inch-pounds. All right, we're there. All right, we're there. One more time. All right, we good there. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get the back plate on. Right now I'm just installing this oil seal. Let me get my rubber mallet real quick. All right, got that where I want it. And I made me a gasket. I just buy gasket material and make this stuff if you can't find it anywhere. Hot tip on putting these holes in here, because if you ever made a gasket and try to drill it with a drill bit, it just tears all to pieces. What I've done is I've gotten old sockets here that I don't use anymore. You know, people give you those socket sets that are real cheap and stuff like that. What I did is I grind it so it's sharp like this, and then I put my gasket on a metal, on my press that I have, and then I put this over where I want the hole, and then I press down on this. Of course, this will be sitting on metal, flat, and whenever I press this in here, it'll cut the hole out, like so. But of course, that I had to cut out by hand. But these smaller holes, that works really, really well. So, all right, let's get this on here. Put a little bit of oil on the shaft here. Probably gonna have to, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm just wiggling it until that seal goes on. There we go. Let me make sure I didn't roll it forward. I didn't. Everything's good. Let's get our 4 bolts. And those are 7/16 also. I'm gonna do this right here so y'all can see a whole lot better. Why is that not screwing in? There we go. All right, when I'm checking for end play, and that feels perfect. That's what type of end play you want to have. Okay, now remember we set that timer at top dead center without timer marks, and you see where the piston is. So we're good there. So, all right. Now, the next thing we can do is put on the head gasket. And of course, I made this head gasket also. Let's see what the torque values are on that. 200 inch-pounds. Try and do all this and look at my manual. Well, if it doesn't run, it's still gonna look good. I think that's 1/2 inch. All right, set this at 200 inch-pounds. Right there. I wish my wrench clicked louder. Okay, that's it. Got those on. All right, she's looking good. Okay, so now we're going to start working with the trickier stuff. We're going to put the coil and everything on. I'll be right back with you. I'll be right back with you. All right, let's go ahead and get this sump cover on. Of course, this is another homemade gasket that I made also for it. Let's go ahead and pop this on. Since I got a bunch of oil squirted down in there, I want to go ahead and get this covered up. Let's do it this way. Let me get 2 new lock washers. Or maybe not. I'll go back with these old ones. give it a little bit of character. These in the bottom, like so. Then we'll put our gasket on here, because it's wanting to bend everywhere. Because the gasket material, the stuff I cut these gaskets out of is rolled up. All right, line that stuff up, drop it on. Let's screw this on. I think that's a 9/16. Or, let me see here, is that 5/8? It is 5/8. Oh, 5/8. Let's get our, now I'm just going to impact this with my small impact. All right, sufficient enough. Let's get her turned around. She's looking good. And that might be all she does is look good. But we'll do what we can to get her running. So let's get this back right here. I'm gonna get me something that I can, piece of wood here, that I can set this, lean this back on for us. Getting all this other stuff over here. Okay. Maybe should have left that off so I know where top dead center is, because I've done spun around a couple times. And that's why this nut's on here, because I was spinning the engine around to see, after I got everything oiled up, if there make sure nothing, didn't have no parts binding up on it. Keeps getting longer and longer. Oh, it slid on good. Okay. I was wanting to do it evenly so I don't mess nothing up on it. Okay, now let's see here. I'm gonna leave this for y'all to do, so I'm just gonna walk away and y'all can do the rest of this part, because this is not the fun stuff. Okay. All right, let's run our cable through here. I could replace that, but the cable, but I'm wanting to keep this as close to the original as possible. Let's get these put in. Big screwdriver. That coil doesn't look the best. Products fails, we'll just order. I think I have one. I think I have some in stock. It's basically the same thing that the Tecumseh's used. So let's see here. And my capacitor right here, or condenser, however you want to say it, I test it with, I have a tool that I can test the microfarrads on these to make sure they're fine. I tested it and it's supposed to be around 20, I believe, and it was right around 30. So we might still work. We'll just have to see. But let's see here. What do we got next? Was I supposed to put this boot on? Was I supposed to put this on first? No, all this goes inside. Okay. I think we go like this. And of course, I'll have to adjust this. That's what this right here is for, to adjust it. So let's see if we can find a screw for this and our little junk pile stuff that came off of here. Alright guys, I'm going to do this, finish this up real quick, and then have to start recording tomorrow. We got a bunch of rain coming in right now, a lot. Let's get our screw. That's not the right screw. I'll still set this to the side right here though. Let's see here. Could be this screw. Okay, yep. Get my little washer. Well, my hand's not wanting to work. All right, we'll set all this. What I should have done was kept this head off of here so I can see when that piston's at top dead center. Because it's going to be hard to turn it right now since I've got new rings in it. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this. Probably gonna have to redo this because that capacitor wire has a little groove cut in it from it rubbing on that spot where it goes through the housing right there. Yeah, it has a little groove cut. It has a little groove cut in it. I don't know if y'all can see that right there where my finger's at. Maybe I can put some shrink tubing on that. That's what I'm going to do, put some shrink tubing on it. Because I'm pretty sure this capacitor still won't work. All right, I'll be back with y'all tomorrow once it stops raining. So we'll see you then. All right, guys, we're back. It's a new day. It's not raining outside no more, thank God. This ain't the prettiest thing in the world. Don't laugh at it. But, there was a big cut in this wire where it was going through this housing right here. So I put a new wire on there and soldered it up and put heat shrink on there. It's probably gonna be way too long, but it's gonna give me enough to work with. And I wanted to keep it as original as possible. So let's get this buttoned up here. Then after we get this hooked up, we're gonna set our points. Okay, and they had this tucked in here like this. And this might not even work, but we're gonna see. This cover gonna fit on here. Take that off. Yeah, that's gonna fit in there good. Then what I can do is I can push that down like this and then screw this in like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And probably gonna be taking these back out if they don't work. Like I said, they wasn't reading exactly right. Should have been around, I think 20 microfarad. And it was around 30. I can get that wire out of the way, make sure I don't pinch it again. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, nobody's gonna be behind the cover looking at it, but it still looks good. Okay, now, I got too much fun playing around here. Let me turn this to top dead center. Let's see what we got supposed to be. That's torque sheets. We're number 7. Let's see here. Points gap 18 to 21 thousandths. So we'll do 19. Turn this on the side again. Hold that there. Alright, got that gap set, so it should close. Can y'all see that? Let me turn this heater off. Okay, on this that has the cam that is flat, Here's our flat surface. You turn around the top dead center, and right when you get to the flat right here, you go all the way to where the flat starts to go back up again. That little angle right here. And that's where it's saying you want to set your points. And I did it at 19. So it can be between 18 to 19 thousandths. So that gap should close once we get into the flat spot. And it does. And there we open again. Okay. We got that. I don't know why. I rebuild engines all the time. These Clintons, every time I rebuild a Clinton or put new rings in it, they're tight as crap. There might be something I'm doing wrong, but I mean, I'm holding it and putting the rings in. And I mean, once I get the engine cranked and running, it smooths out and gets real smooth. Maybe it's because I don't have no oil in the block right now, but everything's done by the book. So let's see here. I guess the next thing to do would be put the flywheel on. And we'll see if we'll get spark. So let me get the flywheel and I'll be right back. Let's get our magnets in the flywheel. We have 3 of them. It's crazy how strong these magnets still are. And they're still really strong. You know what? These screw in from the outside, like this. That felt kind of odd screwing it in from the inside. All right, third one. All right, now my key here, you see how it has a bevel on it like that? It's real thin and then bigger. It goes in like this. Let me turn this around. Like so. Let's put the cap on, cover on first. the slider. Let me get my flashlight. All right. Seems like that's good. Man's back a little further. There we go. All right, that's locked in good. Okay, now let's get our, I can't remember what, I might have to go back and look at my video. Hey, that went on first? Yeah. And then we got this. All right, there's the washer that was on it. I don't keep that original. I just cleaned up a little bit. I'm not gonna paint that. Just like the nut, I'm not gonna paint that either. Now it's being cleaned up. All right, let's see here. What we got, 11, 16th. I think my battery's going dead now. That's so full. Okay. All right, now, y'all still with me? Now let's see if we're gonna have spark. Here's the old clip. I'm gonna clean it up real quick, okay? I'll be right back. Okay. Get that pushed in there. I have a special tool that I had bought for crimping this stuff. Pretty sure that's what the tool is for. I guess I'll find out here in a second, won't we? Yeah, that worked good. Now I should be able to do this. That just cramped it normal. All right, so we got this. Buffed it up. All right, now we need to see if we have spark. I doubt we will. There's a lot of variables we're having to pass here. We got the old capacitor on here, condenser, whatever you want to call it, and don't know if the points are good. I mean, they look really, really good, but might have to go back in there and resand them, and a bunch of things to factor in here. So let's see here. Let me get a spark plug. Everything's painted, so probably won't get a spark with this. We're still recording. I hear something. Let me get something to insulate this, just in case it's jumping. I don't want to get shocked. cigar. Nope. All right. I'm gonna take this back apart and see what's going on. And I'll be back with y'all. All right, guys. All right, guys, I want to replace the capacitor. And we'll go from there. I'm using this tool right here, this meter here, to test the capacitor's microfarad to see if it's still in specs. And it should be right around 20. I have to check the manual to figure out, make sure that's right there. But we're at 0.48. So that's way out of spec. I got this new old stock Tecumseh. I'll let you see how old it is. There's the box it has in. And it's reading out. I flattened this down right here and put a hole in it so it will match up. So it'll go like our old one for the Clinton did. I was really wanting to keep the Clinton one because it had Clinton stamped on it, but oh well. Let's hook this up. We're right at 19. So let's try this and see if this fixes our issue. I'll get this installed and then get us back to the point that we was at where we was testing for spark, and I'll be right back with y'all, okay? All right, guys, we're back. I got it to spark, and you will not believe what I did. Looked online. I could not find no Clinton coils for this thing at all. Not even on eBay. I found a few, but I wasn't going to risk ordering it being the wrong one because you really can't tell by a picture. So what I did was I found a new coil that I had in stock like this. This right here, this is for a Kohler engine. So this is just an example. It has a layout just like this. And the coil right here slides onto the laminates. And the one I used was for a Tecumseh engine. And you see it's square right there. That's the same thing that's on the Clinton. But what I did was I slid the coil off this. Well, first I had to desolder. And ignore the pins on this one because it's for a Kohler. I had to desolder this right here because this is what grounds your coil to your laminates and to your engine. So desoldered that, slid this off, and then I slid it onto the Clinton laminates. And I soldered this back onto here. And then it only has one of these. And one of these is on newer engines is the kill wire. Well, what I did was solder the wire to this and then ran this to my points. And now we have fire. If you don't believe me, here's the laminate from the new one that I pulled off. And here's the Clinton coil that I pulled off of there. As you can see, let's see here. That slides right down in there. And this was off, the one I got was off of Tecumseh. And I will put a link to the coil that I use, and I'm going to make a video showing y'all how I did this, because I don't think anybody else knows you can do this. But anyways, let me show you. I'm going to pull that off, that flywheel off, just so y'all can see, so you'll believe me. Let me get you close here. I'll turn the light off. All right. Got a new wire on here too, brand new wire. Got y'all where y'all can see. Hopefully, let me get something to insulate so I don't get sparked. All right, here we go. Y'all see that spark? Let me get this. See that? All right. I really don't want to take this off again because I don't want to booger nothing up, but I want y'all to see. All right. I'll get y'all in here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. There's the new coil. And you can see it's Chinese, one of those Chinese ones off of Amazon. Got everything wired up on there. And she fires. We'll see how good it does when the engine's completely done. But I'm gonna step away from this, guys, for a couple days. Had a busy week here at work and just working on this thing, trying to get the coil fixed on it. Took up a good part of yesterday and today. So we got one last video after this, getting everything buttoned up, and then us trying to crank it, and hopefully it'll fire, and then we'll tune it and we'll be done. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, and until next time.